Hello, my name is Judy West and I'd like to thank you for joining me today.
If you're not an artist or a drawer, then napkins are a great way to go to add a bit of colour and design to whatever you want. So today we're looking at Calico bags, and I've used this napkin here . That's the half of it. This is the other half. I've used this napkin here and added it to this Calico bag quite quickly and easily to make a beautiful design on the side without having to ever be able to draw. This bunny one, called Bunny and Clyde, is only half a napkin, and I've shown you how, I will show you today how quick and easy it is to add that, but I'm also going to add at the end this particular napkin as well, which is a full-size napkin, and show you that basically you can add them the same way. So this second section at the end will be a quick run through in fast motion with a bit of music, but it'll just show you exactly what I did with the first one, but how I manipulated the larger one to do a whole front of a bag instead of just a half small section. Just takes a little bit extra effort, but it's still just as easy to produce a nice design with no artistic skill whatsoever, just the ability to use a paintbrush and glue. So sit back and have a look at what I've got to offer. Hi all, today we're going to look at doing some napkin art, and I have a number of different napkins here to choose from, and we're going to actually be doing it onto fabric. And these beautiful napkins I got from NinnysNapkins, and if you check in the comments below, you'll find a link to the napkins I use in the video, to her website, and also a discount code if you want to purchase. So check out what I do here and see if it's something you'd like to try. Now, first of all, there's different types of napkins. There are napkins where all four corners are a repeat of the same design, like that. Now that's actually a left and right. Sometimes it's all right, 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 right. But that's an actual left and right there. But it's four of the same thing. Now then you have napkins that are, the bottom is, one side is a long design and the other side is a repeat. So there's your long design and there's the repeat of the same thing. And if you turn it round, they're both going in the same direction. So when you face it, the rabbit standing up is on the right. Now, so there's not a left and right in that. And this one is the same. It's a continuation of these row of flowers. See that? Okay, but it's joined. Even though it's the same one there and there, this is joined, there's no gap. So you could put it on as a continuation. And again, there's no left and right here. Now the other thing we've got is an all over repeat pattern. So we've got this big one here, which is an animal print, and I really like that. But this one is lovely also. And it's a continuous all over print. Now this is a Calico bag, and the good thing about Calico is that it's a cream color. So when we take the layers off these napkins And we might start with this little rabbit one. So I think that's so adorable. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to only use half of this napkin. So I don't take the layers off until I'm ready to use the napkin, because if I want to cut with scissors, I want the napkin to be as strong as possible. If I'm going to wet it with paper, I don't need that, but if I want it to cut with scissors. Now, I would like to put this one across the bottom here. I think that's a lovely design. And in order to do that, let's move that up into the middle so that you can see what I'm talking about. I'll put that across the bottom of the bag. And I need to first of all separate the layers, and I've got 2 layers there and 1 layer here. That's 1 layer. Now, don't throw these away. They can be useful for a number of things, and we'll get into that in future videos. But now I can put this down, and as you can see, because it's on such a light colored surface, the picture is still very, very vibrant. So what we do first is we make sure that we've got something between the layers, so that the and I'm going to put that in there, put that between the layers so that the glue doesn't go through to the back of the bag and stick it together. So first of all, I have 2 of these, because this is a bit wide, which means you'd have to fold it or it'd cause some dips in it. So I'm going to put 1 to the left and 1 to the right. Make sure that the whole area underneath where this napkin is going is completely filled with silicone mat. Great thing about silicone mat is that nothing sticks to it. So even if the glue goes through, it won't stick to this. Just make sure that it's right up to the edge and the bottom, so that this whole thing has got silicone mat under it. And then we can place the napkin in position on top. Make sure that your picture is straight and in the same distance on either side, so that it's not going to, it's centered. Okay, now what I'm using today is I'm using an old soft bristle, wide bristle brush to add the glue, and I'm using Mod Podge fabric to stick the napkin to this Calico bag, and that will make it washable and reusable if your bag gets a bit on the dirty side. So what I'm going to do first is just fold that one over that side, and I'm going to add some glue to here. Now you can go further than where the edges are, just to make sure you do get those edges, because it dries clear. Now this is a new bottle, so take the top off, just peel this back and sit that there. Now I'll take this off here rather than waste it, and this is the first bit I can use. And we're just going to add this to the bag. You just want it tacky enough to stick it, but not thick ridges of glue that are going to cause creases and folds. Now, this napkin is very thin and very fragile, so the last thing you need to do is rip it. So this is a careful process, and get that nice and wet and nice and smooth. And then you carefully hold that there and put the napkin down gently. Now, while your fingers are dry, you can smooth that out a bit. But as soon as your fingers become tacky, they will stick to the napkin. So don't do this once your fingers are wet or this side of the napkin is wet. Now, first of all, give this, actually no I won't. This is very thick, and I think what I'll get to do is get a container and add a bit of water to it to thin it down a bit. I have some clean water here. I'm going to put a bit in there, and this is the thinner stuff I'm going to use to coat the top of the napkin, just by adding water. That to me is a bit thinner, and maybe give me a better, yes, that's a better coverage. And I'm only putting it where it's actually glued. Keep the brush wet, don't let the brush get dry, or you're going to have an issue with the napkin lifting. And make sure those edges are glued down on top. The glue will actually soak through the napkin, so there we are. Now I'm going to, how am I going to do this? I'm going to have to hold this up to do this side. I'm hoping you can see that. Anything you do with art is a sort of an organic process, you know. Sometimes you've got to adjust according to the situation. Here, this bottle is a new bottle. Don't know how long it's been sitting on the shelf or in the shop or in the warehouse. So this is thickened up considerably. So to do this bit, it's fine. But to go over the top, I don't want to rip that napkin. So I just watered it down a bit to go over the top. Now, this time I'm going to carefully put a little bit of pressure here to spread this on, not put it all down in one hit, and make sure my hands don't have any glue on them as they go down. Keep holding it. Now I'm going to add some more water to that, and do this side. And I don't start from that edge, I start from where I left off over this side, and I move across so that if there's some wrinkles or bubbles, I may be able to get some of them out. Now, napkins are so fragile, you're not going to get every bit of bubble out or every little ridge. You can turn a bubble into a ridge, but I work from the middle out in each direction, so that if I'd worked this way, I would have had a ridge down the middle there. But if I work from that way, whatever's the excess will go off the edge and you won't have that ridge. Now, just double check those edges to make sure that they are perfectly covered. Now that was pretty quick, wasn't it? And you've got a lovely bag. Once this dries, there's nothing else needs doing to it. It's done. The next calico bag I'm doing is this one with this large design that covers almost the whole front of the bag. It's a lovely animal print, and for those who are into African stuff and animals, this would be a great design to put on the side of a bag. So the first thing we need to do is separate the layers again, and I learned a little trick the other day. I've got some tape, and before I use the tape, I'm going to put it on here a few times and get some of the sticky off, so it's not too tacky, and then stick it on there and see if I can pull it off. There we are, look at that. Isn't that great? I love it. So that's one layer gone. And remember, don't throw those layers away, keep them. This is probably the harder layer of the two to do because there's little ridges all around the edge of the napkin, and it adheres this layer to the top layer a lot more. There we are. So doing it. Oh yes. Look at that. Now you can see those ridges are sort of making it stick well. Once you get into the middle, it's not as bad, but when you're doing this, be very careful when you're pulling this off. Especially, I want this all on in one whole piece, so I definitely do not want any tears in this napkin at all. As you can see, that's sort of got a print on it, a light print on it. You might be able to use that as a background on something later on, so definitely don't throw these bits out. You know, you might want to do this just to keep it from moving while you lift this side up and put your glue down on this side. So here's my bottle. Don't forget that if you have any questions, please put it in the comments below. The little rabbits have dried, and look how strong and vibrant that picture is on the side of that bag. If we go in for a closer look, you'll notice that you can barely see the difference between the background in the sky and the colour of the bag, and that's because the napkin's so transparent that the background colour is showing through, and along the bottom the same thing. You can barely see where the napkin finishes and the calico bag begins. It's only when you've got some bright colour like there and there that you can actually see where the napkin is. So I hope you enjoyed that today, and look, it's got quite a smooth finish on this one. I haven't got many wrinkles and bubbles and bumps in it at all. So you know, as you can see by that, it's given it quite a good finish. I hope you enjoyed that today. Don't forget, if you like any of these designs, just pop along to Ninny's Napkins. There's a discount code in the description below, so your first order can receive a 10% discount, and I'll just show you the next bag as well. As you can see, we've got a beautiful finish with this bag now. It's all dry, and the napkin looks great on the side. If we get a closer look, there are a couple of little wrinkles in there, but mainly very smooth finish and very vibrant against the cream background. So you've got really strong looking colours there. It looks really good. Hope you enjoyed that today. Bye for now.
If you enjoyed this video today, please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the little bell to be notified of my new videos.